Morning. We're ready to start chemistry, and this is meant as a supplement to your reading. So I hope if you've not done so already, you need to stop this recording and go read section 1.1 of your textbook, which you will find on Plus Portals, and it is loaded by section. I want you to take notes on that, and then I want, as you watch this video and listen, you will need to start and stop and maybe add things to it that I stressed during the lecture. So your notes should have some open space and be ready for you to add to it. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So I'm not going to read you the slides because you can do that. So I really hate it when I see something that says it's chemical free, and they're really not using the word chemical correctly, because everything has chemical nature unless it's something like a thought, an idea, an emotion, although emotions are influenced by chemicals, just saying. And so everything you see, feel, touch is a chemical, or it is matter, something that occupies space and has mass. So you will have a large component of vocabulary words in this class, and you'll see on these PowerPoints they are underlined and in bold, and you should have those. And we are going to do something, we'll talk about it in class. We're going to do Quizlet for you to help learn your vocabulary. And so chemistry is the first one of those words for this unit. And so chemistry is kind of what I consider the central science. It affects physics, it's a part in biology, in geology, ecology, all of them to a certain extent use some chemistry. And so it's very important. And I'm sure biologists would argue that it is not the central science, and so would physicists, etc. So, and here comes back to the idea saying all natural and free of chemicals. Well, it can't be free of chemicals if it's not a thought or idea. And everything is a chemical except for those things that I mentioned. So, there are 5 areas of chemistry, and you need to understand how each one's different and what part of chemistry they cover. And so, you'll want to, as we go through this section, make sure you have those definitions written down. And we will in class talk about these, and I'll give you some kind of example, and then you'll have to tell me if it's one of these, which one of these 5 areas it would be in. So make sure you have that written in your notes. So organic is the type of chemistry that I studied. I got my PhD in organic chemistry, and it is the study of chemicals that contain carbon. The next one is inorganic chemistry, and pretty much it's anything other than carbon. It does include some carbon containing compounds, which makes it a little bit of a gray area, but it's basically non-living things. Biochemistry, obviously with the word bio in it, or the prefix bio, means that it is anything to do with a living process within an organism or outside of an organism. Analytical is looking at the composition of matter, how much of a certain thing is there. And again, we'll talk about those and see if you can identify the branch of chemistry they belong to. Physical is probably my least favorite part of chemistry. It is where physics and chemistry overlap, and it has a lot to do with energy and changes and things like that. So it's not my favorite. So the boundaries are not firm. There is a gray area in each one of those. And so I was an organic chemist, but I was working in biological systems. So I did a lot of biochemistry as well. But I also did computational chemistry, which meant I also had to know computer systems and things like that. Pure chemistry is another definition. So you have chemistry, 5 disciplines of chemistry, and now pure chemistry. And it is the pursuit of chemistry just for its own sake. Can I do this new thing? There's not any application or output or end result that is expected to impact the population at large. It's just to see if you can do it. And so, therefore, applied chemistry would be the reverse. There is a practical goal or an application, an output that is expected at the end of that research. And both of those are very valuable disciplines of chemistry. So let's look at this multiple choice question. I'm going to try and go slowly so you have a chance to read it. And these are the kinds of things that you would want to be able to answer on a quiz or a test. So, which area of chemistry would you use to determine the components of an unknown liquid? Physical, biochem, organic, or analytical? So you're trying to figure out what's in there. And the answer is analytical. You're doing analysis on an unknown to figure out what it is. So you may take its boiling point, you may take its density, you may see what it reacts with other things, and all those are analytical techniques. So, what are the central themes of chemistry? And so this is the big idea for this unit or this section of chapter 1. And some of those big ideas are that we are considered, at least by chemists, as a central science. Electrons and the structure of the atom is a major component of what you will study in this whole semester and this whole year. Bonding and interactions we will do towards the end of third quarter. Reactions is also either third or fourth quarter. Kinetic theory we won't do probably in this class. It has to do with gases and how they behave. The mole and quantifying matter we will do at the beginning of the third quarter. Matter and energy we may or may not get to, and we will not get to carbon chemistry. I know that makes you sad. It makes me sad too. So, chemistry overlaps with all the other sciences. As you can see, astronomers, biologists, chemists all work together for various goals. Explain what is meant by the statement chemistry is the central science. And again, biologists and chemists would disagree over the answer to this. So would physicists. But all their fields rely on chemistry as a part of their discipline. You can't be a biologist without knowing some chemistry. And I bet you remember from biology that you had to learn some organic structures and naming and things like that. So here's the key concepts, and this is always towards the end of a section. These are the kind of the big ideas you should have gotten out. Again, I'm not going to read to you. I'm leaving this on the screen. If you need more time, you can pause it here to make sure you have these things written down in your notes. And then here are some glossary terms, and this is matter, chemistry, organic, inorganic, biochem are 3 of the disciplines of chemistry. The last 2 are analytical and physical. And then we talked about pure and applied chemistry, and you should be able to differentiate or determine whether it's pure chemistry or applied chemistry. And that's the end of this section. So when you come back to class, we will discuss those. We will make sure that I'll give you examples and you should be able to tell me what they are. And I think that's all I have for today. So thank you and have a great day.